I I can't believe it. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but yeah, eBay has raised their fees again. You guys saw the thumbnail. It's not a secret. They've raised the fees on us again. Now, there's a but here, and I'm going to cover what that but is in this video. I'm going to also break down what this fee increase is by eBay. And there's actually 4 updates I want to cover that eBay released today. So every spring, eBay releases their spring seller update. And that's when they let sellers know what changes are happening on the platform. Now, it's kind of met with some trepidation from sellers because that's often the time when, if eBay is going to increase their fees, that's when they let us know that it's going to happen. And that's what happened this time for the spring 2021 seller update. So, like I said, this seller update, these seller updates can be very dense. There's a lot of information, and eBay, in my opinion, I think they really try to hide things from us, which is very silly because we as sellers will eventually find out what it is that they changed, but they kind of make it difficult for us with these seller updates. It's not always clear what's been changed or how it's been changed. Luckily, I went in, I read the whole thing, I compared it, I did all this homework for you guys, so I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to show you only the 4 things that you need to know, because one of the kind of tactics that I think they employ is that they give you way too many updates in these updates, so you don't focus on the negative stuff. And I want to show you, highlight the stuff that really matters, and some of it I think it is negative. So let's dive into that and get rid of all the fluff that eBay threw in here. So this is the seller update right here. As you see, they say that there's updates of 4 different things here. Listing and promoting, fees and financials, running your business, and user agreement updates. I read through all of this. It would be helpful for you guys to check out these other 3 categories of updates, but I really want to highlight this section right here. Oops, let me do that over again. This section right here, the fees and financials, because this is the part that obviously I can't draw, but you guys get the idea. This section right here is the one that I want to highlight. 4 big updates out of this one that I think really matter. So first, the one that's not too much of a surprise, this one right here. eBay will manage payments for all sellers in 2021. So eBay, for the past few years, they have been slowly moving over to their managed payment system. In the past, anytime money was exchanged on eBay, it was done through PayPal. Now eBay is their own payment processor, not for all sellers, but for a lot of sellers now. And by the end of 2021, eBay says that all sellers will be on managed payments. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. We knew it was happening. I've been on managed payments on one of my accounts for a while, and I think it's fine. So it's just something to adapt to if you haven't done it already. I know a lot of you have done it already. Not a big change there. We knew this was happening. Now, along with that, this is something that eBay has talked about, they have alluded to, and now they're saying for sure now. This one right here. Seller fees and expenses will be collected from your earnings. So this will start in late March, for anyone who's on managed payments. So basically all your fees and all your expenses, including things like insertion fees, promoted listings, optional listing upgrades, and eBay store subscriptions, those will be deducted from your earnings on eBay before eBay pays you out for your sales. And if your earnings aren't sufficient for whatever reason to cover those amounts, then they will debit, they'll charge your payment method on file, like your credit card. And eventually, we won't even receive a monthly invoice at all. Everything will be taken out of the pending payments, and then whatever's left over is what eBay will send us. Now, pros and cons here. The pros is that this is more streamlined, right? We're only going to receive the one payment from eBay, and we know that that is the amount that we get to keep because all the other expenses came out. The only thing we have to then worry about is the cost of the item that we purchased. So in a way, it's a more streamlined bookkeeping process for us. There are cons to it though, like we can't use cashback credit cards to pay those expenses, which is a bummer. You know, we as sellers, like a lot of us love to use cashback credit cards or credit cards with points. And as managed payments has been rolling out, we've gotten to use that less and less, and it seems like that's going to be used even less and less going forward. So let me know in the comments section. If you're here live, let me know in the live chat what you think about that one. I think there are pros and cons. I'm not really fully decided on whether I think it's more of a pro or more of a con that all that money comes out before eBay will pay us. All right, but let's now get to the third thing, which is the biggest change, the one that I think most of you are here for, and the one I think that eBay kind of tried to hide from us a little bit. This is it right here. Final value fee increase in select categories. Now, when I first read that, I wasn't too worried. If you don't know what final value fees are, whenever you sell an item on eBay, eBay takes a percentage of that sale and keeps it as a final value fee. That is how eBay primarily makes money. Now, they've always increased that fee over the years. Now, when I saw that, it says final value fee increase in select categories. So when I read that, I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I thought, hey, it's probably some categories that I don't even sell in, some of the more obscure categories. And sure enough, when I actually click through, get to this page, I'm like, okay, where is this information? What exactly is the increase? I'm not really seeing it. We'll make an adjustment to the final value fee in select categories. Like this little sentence right here about it. Okay, so what's that? So let me click here for more details. Finally, on this page is where I see that information. And what eBay's not going to do for you here, they're not going to put up a chart for you that shows you, okay, this is what the fee used to be, and this is what the new fee is. They don't show you that. They only show you that if it's a good thing. So I'll show you an example of that in a second. But when they actually increase the fee, no, they're not going to show you by how much it increased. That's something you kind of have to dig around and find for yourself. And sure enough, it's not just some select categories. It's pretty much there is a fee increase on eBay. Good news is it's not a huge increase. So I don't even show you this page because, like I said, they don't tell you exactly what the increase is. They just show you what the new fee is. But the old fee, if you had a starter store or you didn't have a store subscription, the fee for anyone on managed payments was 12.35%. eBay is increasing that to 12.55%. So that's an increase of 0.1%. Okay? So 12.35% up to 12.55. I'm sorry, 0.2%. For anyone with a starter store or lower, or starter store or non-store. If you have a basic store or higher and you're on managed payments, then the fee used to be 11.5%, and now it will be 11.7%. So again, an increase by 0.2%. So it's not a huge increase, but they are increasing the fee. And I don't think this will have a huge impact on our business. It's not a huge increase, but we will have to adjust our margins slightly. So will everyone else on eBay. So it's still going to be a level playing field, right? Everyone has to pay the same fee. So everyone is going to have to increase their prices on eBay to meet that. Now, really, the reason why this is particularly frustrating and annoying is, one, because the lack of transparency. I just don't feel like the way they presented this was clear at all. I think they should be more upfront. We all know the fee's increasing. Just be open and honest about it and show us it. Do a side-by-side comparison so we can be prepared as sellers. Don't try to hide it beneath 3 different pages. Regardless, whatever, okay? That's their PR. The other frustrating thing is that eBay, when managed payments first started to roll out, eBay made a lot of promises to us. Promises that selling with managed payments would be cheaper than the old system. And it is, but now they're increasing the fees, so it's become less cheaper, if that makes sense. So yeah, just kind of wish you would keep your promise more, eBay, and not be kind of like sneaky about it. Okay, so let me know what you think about that price increase. Personally, I don't think the price increase itself is such a big deal because it's not a huge update. And there's another but here, because eBay actually has done something that will benefit us. That is pretty awesome. And that's the fourth thing I want to talk about here, which is this one right here, zero insertion fee allotment increase. So what this zero insertion fee allotment increase is, so for those of you who don't know, when you list items onto eBay, you're allowed to list up a certain number of items every single month for free. After that, eBay will charge you for each of your listings. And you can get more free listings by subscribing to one of the store subscriptions. Well, eBay is increasing the number of free listings that we get. Let me see if I can find that chart. So yeah, here it is right here. And again, this is only for people who are on managed payments, but everyone by the end of the year will be on managed payments. So look what eBay did here. They put right here the current zero insertion fee listing allotments right here. And here is the new zero insertion fee allotments for sellers on managed payments. And this is starting April 1st. So the reason I'm highlighting this is because this is a good thing. This is something that benefits us as sellers. And so they're highlighting, they're doing a side-by-side comparison, what it used to be and what it will be moving forward. So they gave us that side-by-side when it's a good thing. They didn't give us a side-by-side when it's a bad thing, like a fee increase. But regardless, here it is. These are the new insertion fee listing, or zero insertion fee listing allotments. For non-stores, you see we go from 200 up to 250. And then for basic, you go from 350 to 1,000, premium 1,000 to 10,000, anchor 10,000 to 25,000, and enterprise 100,000 to no charge. So that's substantial, right? That is a substantially higher number of free fixed priced listings. So yes, eBay did increase their fees, but they also gave us more of these free insertion fee listings. And that's a lot. They really gave us a lot more to work with. And I think overall, we are going to see our fees come down as a result of this. Because one, let's say you're on a basic plan and you currently have, let's say 500 listings. Then instead of paying, you're not paying for 150. You're not paying for any of them at that point, right? Normally you'd be paying for 150 of them. Now you're not paying for any of them. And that might also prompt you to stay on a lower priced eBay store subscription level, which will also save you money. So I think overall this might actually save us money, but if when it actually happens, we can run the numbers and see for sure. But yeah, those are the 4 big updates I saw in the spring 2021 spring seller update. If I missed something that you guys thought was important, please let me know in the comment section. But those are the 4 that I thought were the most important ones to look at. So let me quickly jump into the live chat and see if you guys have any feedback on this. And for those of you watching on the replay, let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. Let's see, any comments about the... Still waiting for eBay to let me into managed payments. Yeah, they will. Again, like I said, by the end of 2021, everyone will be in it. All right. So thanks so much, guys, for checking out this video. If you liked it, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. I spent some time going into this seller update, breaking it down, really diving in. I read every single part of it, and I even did research to see what changed that wasn't apparent. Even read the terms of conditions that are updated. So if you appreciate me doing that for you, I would appreciate you giving the video a thumbs up. Then consider subscribing to the channel for more updates like this on eBay so you don't miss out on them and don't have to read the updates yourself. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for checking it out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.